I purchased this bisque from wrapitupceramics.com. I love this website because it shows all the items painted, but they will all come unpainted like this. The paints that I'm going to be using for this project are the Kimple Translucents. I really love these colors. They're easy to use and they create really great shadowing effects. Always cover the top piece in a rag. And then just hold it down with a ponytail holder. And that way you can grab the top and you don't have to worry about my hands will get paint on them, and that way I can hold it and I don't have to worry about smudging the top of the piece. Other supplies that you'll need for this project is a cotton rag, and I love to use children's underwear. It's the perfect size and the perfect thickness. You're also going to need Q-tips with the pointed. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to paint this effect for the rabbits. Okay, I'm gonna start with the feet first. The first step is to coat them in the Kimple black. We'll put the black on full strength. On each of the feet. So I've coated the feet, and then I also coated the bottom of her skirt in black. And now you're going to take a cotton rag and start wiping back. And don't worry too much if it gets on the white areas. We'll get to that later. I mean, do your best that you can, but don't worry about it too much. And you can see it starting to pull back. So I'm just going to keep working this. So this is the best that I could get it with a rag, and now I'm going to take Q-tips and continue working it. Just take Kimple white. I'm just going to paint it right on. I'm just slopping it on. And I'm taking my rag and I'm just going to rub it back. And when you rub it back, it's going to kind of take it back to the original white, but yet with that black on there, that black kind of really stuck in the crevices, and it kind of just creates a nice soft shadowing. Then I'm going to use a Q-tip and just kind of clean up the cracks. I'm just going to kind of wipe back the white, and then it'll leave the black underneath. Just kind of creates a nice shadowing, soft shadow effect. So I'm going to do that on the other 2 feet. So the feet, this is what they look like with the Kimple white pulled back. Now I'm going to take that Kimple towel, put a little bit on my rag, and I'm just going to start to rouge the feet. Put a little bit on each paw. I'm going to just work this until I get the look I want. So that just kind of gave the feet just a little bit of warmth to the feet. So next I'm going to take some of this drying time extender. I'm going to get my cloth, my rag a little bit wet with it. Then I'm going to use Kimple's Primrose and just very slightly dab it into that where that extender was. And I'm just very lightly, I just initially just touch the toes with the Primrose, and then I'm going to go to a clean part of the rag, and I'm just going to kind of work this in and create just a very soft blush on the toes. So I finished the rabbits in that same technique where I did black first, wiped it back as best I could, and then a layer of white, wiped that back, and then rouged it in taupe and around the cheeks, just a tiny bit of the Kimple Primrose, and then Primrose in the cheeks. Next I'm going to do the father's bunny, and I guess I do need to correct myself. Instead of a Kimple color, I am going to use this product here. It's a water mixable oil color, and it's very similar to the Kimple in the sense that you can put it on and then it'll wipe back really nice. So I guess if you don't have access to Kimple colors, this line here creates the same effect. So I've coated it in a navy color, and I'm going to take my rag and start wiping back. I'm going to try to be careful to not get it on the other items. So I won't be able to use a rag for the entire piece, but I'm going to start off on the belly and just start wiping back as best I can. And so that's about as good as I can get it with the rag, and so now I have to switch over to a Q-tip and start working towards the edges. So this is what the blue looks like all pulled back. I can see it has some really nice shadowing. I'm going to paint the bottom of the blue jeans on the father and the son and the pockets in Kimple's Amber. So this is what it looks like with the amber painted on full strength, straight out of the jar. I'm going to take my rag and try to carefully wipe back. So this is the bottom of the pants in the taupe and then pulled back. For the bunny's dress, I outlined the crevices in Kimple Tangerine, and then I took some of the tangerine and mixed it with white to get a softer orange, and I painted it on full strength, and now I'm going to start wiping it back. I'm going to use a Q-tip for this, and as you pull back, it's going to blend those two colors together and soften it up. This is what the dress looks like finished. And then I finished all the bunnies, and I used the Kimple colors on the scarf, the buttons, this scarf. And the technique is the same for all the Kimple colors. You apply it full strength and then wipe back with either a Q-tip or a rag. Next I'm going to do the grass in Kimple Evergreen. And you can see the bottom is a little bit dirty from the black and the white, and this is okay. It'll create a nice shading effect, so there's no need to clean this up. You just paint right over it. So I've applied the evergreen full strength, and I'm going to take a Q-tip and start wiping back. And so I'm just going to keep working this until I get the effect that I want. So this is how I pulled it back, and now I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours. And once it's dry, I'm going to apply some of the Kimple Sunshine Yellow, and it's going to brighten it up. So this is without the yellow on it, and then this is with the yellow. And I love the Kimple colors because you can layer the colors and create some really bright effects. And even here, I've done this in the Kimple Black and then wiped back. And you can apply the yellow right over it, and the yellow will come through nice and bright, but yet the black will stay there, and it doesn't affect the shade of the yellow. So I really like working with the Kimple colors. They're just really fun and easy to work with. Then same with the rabbit, where I did it first in a layer of the Kimple brown, which is a pretty dark brown, then wiped that back, and then went over it with the Kimple, another Kimple color, kind of a brown yellow, and then finally in the white. And you can see that it doesn't affect the other colors, and it ends up with a really vibrant color, but yet retains the shading of the brown. Now they're just a really fun product to work with. Here's another example of Kimple colors. Again, I base coated this in the Kimple brown, and then wiped it all back, and then went like this here. I went over in the Kimple amber and then wiped it back. And so these are all Kimple colors, and like I said, I really like it. It creates great shading, but yet it's incredibly easy to use. For the top, I'm going to coat it in Kimple's teal. You're going to want to work a section at a time. Again, apply it full strength and take a rag and wipe back. So this is what the top looks like in teal pulled back. And then I went over all the flower vine areas in the Kimple Primrose and wiped those back. And so now I'm going to let this sit overnight. Next, I painted the squares white. And then up on the chimney I did white and then a metallic silver. Then I went back over all the vines and flowers and rouged them with the primrose to brighten them up. And I finished the fences, same technique of teal, wiped it back, and then did the crossbars on the fence in black first and then went over them in white. I'm going to finish up the grass. I'm going to be adding Kimple Sunshine Yellow to it to highlight it. Just take the yellow, just kind of brush it on the areas that you want to be highlighted. And then take a Q-tip and wipe back. And as you wipe back, it's going to kind of blend the colors and brighten it up. So the item is done. This is what it looks like, brightened up the grass. I added white polka dots to this scarf and this scarf. And I used the Sunshine Yellow to brighten up her buttons. And this is it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it inspires you to try out the Kimple colors.